Welcome, everybody, to the monthly APTAT webinar. Today, I am super excited. This is probably a topic that is near and dear to my heart for so many reasons that we really don't have time to get into because we have a lot to talk about. But before we get started, let me go ahead and put the slides in the chat for our friends that just joined us. It is a bit.ly link, so it is bit.ly/camp with a capital C, and then just APTAT, all capital letters. And then, of course, I have this lovely camp picture that I made here from Canva. So I have a little girl that's cooking fish over a fire. There is a little boy next to her in a wheelchair playing his guitar. And then just for good measure, I have a bear with a backpack and a map that's kind of on the other side of the tent, making sure he knows where to go next. So thank you for being here. I am going to dive just a little bit because I have to gush a little. When I started in assistive technology, it really did come probably from my experiences and my opportunities working at camps exactly like we're going to be talking about today. My first experience was working at a day camp for children with different disabilities. It was a summer, kind of volunteer job that a friend of mine told me about, and I absolutely fell in love with it. To where my first real impact of assistive technology and how that can really change people's lives was a summer camp that I worked for adults in Minnesota. And I have to tell the story real quick because it was really, truly one of those moments. It was a camp for adults with developmental disabilities and physical disabilities. We changed in new campers every week. I was the music director there. And so it was the start of the new camp week. People are unloading buses, et cetera, et cetera. And most of us are college students, the workers there. So all the camp counselors, most of the directors, et cetera. And I hear a group of girls just giggling and just having the best time ever. And I'm like, oh, I literally thought this, oh, it must be the new kitchen guy. He must be out there flirting with the girls. Oh, no, no, it was not him at all. He was nowhere to be seen. It was a gentleman who was probably about our age. So he was about in his mid-20s. And he was in a wheelchair, but he was using a communication device. But he was so fluent in using this communication device that he just had them like on a string, just, laughing, flirting, making jokes, just a great conversationalist. And it was just one of those moments that really stuck out to me where it was like, oh, this is what like real true access can do for people, and just give him this opportunity where he's able to interact in the most natural way ever. So I love camp. I do. I used to work at camps for my previous jobs. We would do AAC camps, and anytime anybody says the word camp, I am there. So I'm going to shut up so we can talk about all the wonderful things that camp does for people. So um, let me move on to our next slide. On to business here. So please feel free to ask questions excuse me, please feel free to ask questions through chat during the session. We will have some time at the end if you prefer to use a microphone for your questions, but just to make sure that we keep the flow of everything going, we will make sure that if there are questions in chat that we address them when time allows for us to do that. Of course, this session will be recorded. I know a lot of us that register, sometimes we have every intention to be there, but a phone call happens or a meeting. As always, you can find them on our YouTube channel. And we are officially caught up, so hooray for that. We do have our live captions are going to be available through either the Zoom toolbar or the web link. I think the web link's probably our best bet. I think we were having some problems with the Zoom toolbar previously. And of course, updates love to make things more interesting. So please go ahead and use that link, and I will make sure I get that in the chat as well. And then thank you again to Alabama Council on Developmental Disabilities for providing our Spanish language interpretation. We will also be providing a recording of the Spanish language interpretation in addition to the English version as well. Okay, so a little bit about APTAT. We are accessing potential through assistive technology, and we are the Alabama AT Act program. So for some of you who are new to what that is, we are a federally funded program, and our job is to help everybody in the state of Alabama really have a better knowledge, access, and acquisition of assistive technology. Really just kind of helping people understand what it is, what it can do for people, and how to access it. We do that through several programs. Our big one, of course, is our short-term device loans. So this is where people can borrow devices from us for 30 days. So that way they can use it as part of a trial. Maybe they just want to learn more about a particular product to see if it's something that could be useful for a client or for themselves down the road. Or maybe it's something for like a temporary injury. I know we had a couple people recently who had surgery that needed, a grab bar or a stool to help, like a step stool to help get into the bed. But they knew they weren't going to need it for a long time. So we were able to help assist them that way. We also have our reutilization program. This is where you can borrow gently used donated durable medical equipment. So things like bath chairs or wheelchairs or, again, grab bars, those kinds of things where it can get really expensive. And it may not be something you need all the time. And why not see if somebody else is donating it first? We also have our trainings, such as our wonderful webinar series, as well as we just recently did a maker training with the Occupational Therapy Association. We did a maker day with them, and we're always happy to provide personalized trainings for your organizations. And then also we provide technical assistance, such as Department of Education. We're working with them to provide some additional resources and supports, and resources for financial assistance. So we help partner with partners to make sure that they have resources to provide things like grants of last resort, helping spread the word about those programs. And then also our AT Maker space is something that we will be rolling out very, very soon. We've kind of already actually started doing it with our workshops, but something where people can come to us for something that if you don't need to purchase it, if it's something that we can just quickly 3D print or help you create something like a DIY AT product, we're happy to help in those ways. So just a couple of quick little things more about our program. The first one is always, who are we for? Is this just for people with disabilities? Are those the only people who can contact us? Absolutely not. Really, we are for anybody in Alabama because the more people that understand assistive technology and how it works and how it benefits people with disabilities, and how it can really impact people in general, the better it is for all of us. So yes, people with disabilities, absolutely, their parents, their caregivers, service providers, companies or organizations that are just interested in AT to benefit their employees or their customers, or just general public just being interested and wanting to be more knowledgeable. We are a program under Alabama Department of Rehab Services. However, you do not need to be a consumer. So that's always a big one too. Now, there are certain things that we cannot do that ADRS can, and we're always happy to help refer those services over to them. But to talk with us, you do not have to be a member of ADRS. All right. So here's the best part. I get to stop talking, and we're going to hear about some wonderful camps today. We did have 4 guests lined up. I know Hope Heals unfortunately had a conflict today last minute that popped up, so I will talk briefly about their program at the end. I think we are waiting on one more speaker to show up. So we're actually going to start with the recreational TBI camp. And then we'll have the speaker from Special Camps talk, and then we'll swing back around and hopefully have the Pilot Club TBI camp representative here, and then I will talk about Hope Heals. If you have access to the slides, I have given you direct links to these organizations, so that way you can get more information. Oops, let me skip. Nope, let me not skip. I'll talk about that later. We do have some additional camps that we know about in the area. They just weren't able to schedule it with us today. We actually had a few that were like, oh, this is great. Please let us know when we can talk next year to you all. So we may be doing this again next time with a whole new set of camps. So we're really excited about it. So I am going to, as I promised, be quiet, and we will have our first speaker talk. And as I mentioned before, we will have questions at the end. So what we'll probably do is after each speaker, see if any questions pop up in the chat, and then we'll switch over to the next speaker. So, all right, Scott and Peyton, I'll let you guys take it away. And I will stop sharing my screen so you can share.
Perfect. And can I get a quick thumbs up or a nod of the head if everyone can see me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Very good. Good morning, everyone. And Jessica, thank you for the opportunity to come and talk. Before I kind of get into talking about really two different camp initiatives that we have that I wanted to share, I will give a quick bit of background about our organization, just in case no one is aware of the Alabama Head Injury Foundation. We are a statewide 501c3 nonprofit organization. Right now, we serve just over 1,600 individuals in the state of Alabama. We have active clients in all 67 Alabama counties. And, some of the basics about us, and this also applies to the camps that I will discuss, is that, really our only criteria to be a part of the Alabama Head Injury Foundation is that you have to have a history. Communicate to us. You do not have to prove it medically, but you have to communicate to us that in the past you have experienced and are living with a traumatic brain injury or a traumatic spinal cord injury or both. So that is the only thing that we require. There is no program that we offer that has any cost associated with it. So everything that we provide is completely free to individuals. It does not cost anything to become a client to the Head Injury Foundation. And obviously, we do not share the names of those that we serve with anyone else. So we are very, very pleased as part of our programs and services to have really two different camp offerings that I wanted to share. One, probably a little bit more traditional, and then one that I put together some more slides to describe because it's a little bit different and very unique to our organization. So the first is that we do recognize absolutely 100% the importance of allowing the clients that we serve, people across the state, to be able to come together in a safe and welcoming environment, to be able to spend time with other individuals that are living with traumatic brain injuries and with other caregivers of individuals who are living with traumatic brain injuries. So each year we provide a week-long recreational TBI camp at beautiful Camp Asca down in Jackson's Gap, Alabama. We typically do this, we like to wait for the cool, crisp August mornings in Alabama. Maybe a tiny bit of sarcasm there. It's actually really hot in August when we have our camps, but it's a wonderful time to be outside. And we also are able to go to Camp Asca during sort of the down period where they have finished with a lot of their student programs over the summer, but have not geared up with a lot of their student programs for the school year. And so we kind of have run of the camp, and it usually is just us, maybe one other group that is there. So it gives us free access to everything that Camp Asca has to offer, including, both of their zip lines, their karaoke area, their arcade back in the back 40, their archery, their arts and crafts, the pool, you name it. We typically have anywhere from about 18 to 20 of our clients that are able to come to our week-long camp. We do require that all of our campers have a buddy with them that is someone that can be responsible for their care, for their medication, pieces like that. Typically, from an age perspective, we do tend to work with young adults all the way up to seniors. The youngest that we will allow typically is about age 15, and it goes anywhere up to 15 and beyond. So if we had someone that was in their hundreds, we would welcome them to our camp with open arms. But our camps are pretty much, the registration for those comes out usually right around January 1st. So I'll make sure that Jessica has our information, but you can go to our website. You can also reach out to the email that is available off of our website, which is just info@ahif.org. And you can ask that we reach out to you when our camp applications become available, and we will make that available. So we do have a week-long camp that we always do at Camp Asca in August, typically the beginning of August. We have a weekend camp that we do at Camp Asca, which is typically in early March. And it'll just be a Friday through Sunday weekend camp. And then we also have a weekend camp that we do at beautiful Camp McDowell up in the metropolis of Nauvoo, Alabama, that we typically do every October. So our camp this year is coming up October 18th through 20th. It is a full camp at this time, so we'd be looking at next year for that. But our weekend activities at Camp Asker are very similar to what our week-long activities are. We just don't get to do them as frequently because we're only there for really 2.5 days. And then our weekend camp at Camp McDowell is much more relaxed, probably not as much of the sort of Six Flags feel of Camp Aska, where we are doing more arts and crafts, doing the working farm tour, going to the petting zoo, and then working in our own pieces. We typically have a Halloween costume contest every year because it's always in October around Halloween. Maybe tell some ghost stories and make s'mores around the bonfire, but very, very relaxed environment. And again, all of them typically are 18 to 20 people, and just a great time of fellowship and for people who understand what it's like to live with a brain injury or a spinal cord injury or both to come together and interact with one another. So that is our recreation camp, but also wanted to share about our Bright Ideas TBI camp because that is something that a lot of you may not have heard of. And so it's a very different concept. We put it together really because we noticed a trend with the clients that we are privileged to serve, where after about maybe 2.5 to 3 years post-injury, we noticed that for a lot of them, there was a bit of a stagnation that occurred just in terms of just general behaviors of maybe motivation to continue to try on the road to recovery, probably some compassion fatigue that was even setting in on part of our caregivers, which I'm sure a lot of you understand and can certainly empathize with. And we said we want to try and find a way of sort of reinvigorating the clients that we serve and their caregivers to say, is there something else that we can do? And we wanted to do it in a framework that was recreational and fun, but also had a therapeutic component as well. And so we partnered with universities across the state. And now we have partnerships with 10 different colleges and universities, and we provide 5 of our Bright Ideas TBI camp programs, which are a 3-day therapy-based camp that we do on site at universities across the state. We have one at the University of South Alabama. We have one at Auburn University. We have one at Stanford University. We have one at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. And we have one that is actually held at Lakeshore Foundation, which is a 4-university partnership. And we bring together students under faculty supervision from disciplines that include occupational therapy, physical therapy assistant, speech therapy, neuropsychology, optometry, nutrition, and a variety of other disciplines to work with our clients and caregivers over the course of 3 days to find fun, recreational, yet effective interventions that can help along the road to continued recovery, maybe being able to accomplish additional activities of daily living, maybe ways of plugging into hobbies or other resources within the community, but just ways of improving activity, and really just trying to find a way of helping people continue along their road to recovery. So our Bright Ideas TBI camps are also completely free. We do provide an Amazon Fire tablet to everyone that comes so that you can then access Zoom programming down the road. You can take videos of some of the activities that you learned while you're there. We feed everyone lunch every day, including the students, but it's a great bonding opportunity to bond with a group of students who care about your well-being, who are also trying to help you find ways of continuing to better yourself. And it's something I think we all could benefit from. So I will show you a couple of pictures of our Bright Ideas camp, but I kind of went through this. I'm really bad about doing that, Jessica, where I used all my talking points in the blank slide at the beginning and then realized, oh, wait a second, I put my talking points on slides. So yes, you're probably looking at these slides thinking, wow, Scott, that sounds like what you just said when you were sitting on the blank slide before. Yes, this is my way of reinforcing these concepts with you. It's a trick that I like to do. So yes, as I mentioned, our camps are designed for TBI survivors and or spinal cord injury survivors who are typically 2+ years removed from their injury. Again, for here, we're probably looking at people ages 14 and above that would be eligible to come to these camps, but we would consider someone younger since they would have a family member coming with them. It is a 3-day camp. I mentioned the disciplines that are there. And there is no cost again. And on day two, one of the things I love about this camp is that on the second day of our Bright Ideas Camp, we do separate our caregivers from their loved ones and have a whole separate day of programming that's focused just on caregivers. That includes group counseling with social work students. We have nursing come in and talk about wound care. We talk about self-advocacy, and we even have attorneys come in to talk about issues regarding guardianship and conservatorship and wills and powers of attorney and legal questions that you don't always know the answers to that you can find through being able to take part in this. And everyone is provided with a home plan that gives you ideas and really reinforces the things, because we want this to be something that you can then do for another 3, 6 months, 9 months, even 1 year down the road. And it's not a 3-day sort of splash in the water event, but something that really can create a systematic change in lifestyle and behavior patterns over the course of time. Um, Here are some pictures from our camp. So you can see this was our Sanford camp. You can see in this bottom left-hand picture, you get an idea of the number of students that we're talking about involved with our clients that really surround and become a part of the team that work with people. And it's everything from, working through, maybe some limbs that aren't as limber as you wish that they were, to playing basketball, to going fishing in the pond. We do it all as a part of trying to find ways to keep people active and to find ways of plugging into what they enjoy doing. Um, I will skip the video. And here's our one from Auburn and Tuskegee. I apologize for the ugly image in the bottom left of Albee. I don't know how that snuck in, but I will leave it in there for now. It kind of makes me sick, but some of you may find that appealing. But again, we do bring the mascots in to interact with the clients, which is always fun too. Anytime you get to visit with Big Al or Albee or even Paula down at South Alabama, it's a good time. But you get an idea again of how the students are working and going through things with the clients over the course of the 3 days. Whoops, I skipped ahead one too many. Sorry about that. Here's our South Alabama group again. So you can see once again the size of the number of students that are working on the teams and just get an idea for what this looks like in terms of the outcomes that can happen. Here is our most recent camp. Our Lakeshore Foundation camp actually happened last week. And in this one, we even get people in the pool and do some aquatic therapy with them there at Lakeshore Foundation. So anytime anytime you have a chance to get in the water and enjoy some pool time, we're all open for that. You can see Blaze there as well as a part of that camp. But all of our camps are, again, open for anyone. First come, first serve. Our Bright Ideas Camp dates will be set more than likely, I would say by the end of January. We should have all of our Bright Ideas dates set for the year. In that case, you would need to be a client to the Head Injury Foundation, which again is a free process, doesn't cost anything. It's a very simple thing to do to be able to come to our Bright Ideas Camp and have it be appropriate, because we would have to kind of talk and make sure that you met the criteria for that. But otherwise, those are our camp programs. I want to reiterate once again, 100% free. Deadlines typically going to be right around the turn of the year. So around January, please start reaching out to us. Ask us about these dates if you think it applies to you or someone that you know, and we'd be happy to get you plugged into one of our camps.
Right. Thank you, Scott. Thankfully, I am not from Alabama. I have no stake in the game, so you can put whatever mascots on the screen you want, and I'll just stare at it going like, oh, interesting.
It's easier to put the Auburn mascot up there right now when they've lost 2 games already this year. I don't feel nearly as bad about it.
Just throwing them a bone. All right. Any questions? That was a lot of information for everybody. And as we said, we will have the slides available to everyone. That way you can click through at your leisure. I don't see any questions yet, but I will let you know if we see any after our next speaker. And that would be Darlene. You're going to be speaking about special camps. And I think you should be able to share your screen if you need to.
Okay. I don't have slideshows to show or anything like that, but you're more than welcome to go to our website and see all the information needed. And just have to add, we're Eagle Scott, and I also want to say wonderful programs. I love hearing about different things so that, as individuals come to me and ask questions, I can share that information as well. So just to give you a little history about special camps, we started back in 1974. So this year is our 50th celebration. And so we were able to have like a family day for caregivers and counselors and past, present, and hopefully future representatives to come and participate in that 50th celebration September the 8th. And so it was a great experience. I hope that we can continue those because it was really fun. So our individuals just need to be uh, intellectually disabled. Unfortunately, our facilities do not allow for handicap accessibility. And so we use Camp Sumatonga's facilities in Gallant, Alabama. It's a beautiful place if you've never been. And we do the traditional camp activities as well. So we have fishing, archery, canoeing, crafts, music, game, individual games, as well as group game activities. And then we try to have lots of bonfires and interactions and those kind of things as well. We do a week long in the summer, and that week long is for individuals 13 years of age and up. So we have our youth program in one of the facilities and then our adult programs in another facility. So we kind of keep them separated throughout the day. And then in the evenings, we do those group activities together. And then we also have a long weekend in the fall, which is coming up October the 31st. And just like Scott's mentioned, we will also have Halloween costume, competitions and contests. And we will do some hall trunk or treatings or hall door trick or treatings, I guess is what we could call it. So this is our first year having Halloween as our activity. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited. They're all emailing me and texting me of their costumes. So the individuals and those for fall camp, it's ages 45 and up. So we kind of split those up. So for all three of those camps, we probably host about 150 individuals, campers. And we also are a 501c3, and every single one of our volunteers, counselors, our board, as well as our operations team are all volunteers. So we run off of a strictly volunteer basis. And so we're always looking for volunteers. So if you're interested, please hit me up and I can share lots of information with you. I always say I go to be the blessing, but I'm always the one leaving with the blessing. So it's a wonderful experience to be able to go and participate. So for our registrations, our summer registration usually opens around March 1st, and it is a first come, first serve basis. We also I wouldn't say that we have like an interview process or anything like that, but if you've never come before, I do try to have conversations with you just to make sure that you are a good fit for us. It is a communal living experience, and so we got to make sure that fits best for you as an individual or your camper as an individual. And then for our fall program, registration is open now. We usually open it September the 1st, and I will try to cut it off around October the 10th or until we're full. So there's really no deadlines with it. I just first come, first serve, and when it's full, we're done. So our fees, we, again, are not running this as a business, so it's not like we're trying to make a buck. We're only trying to make sure that our campers can go, and then we are paying for our volunteers to participate. So I'll say the prices for last year because I haven't gotten the prices for this year, so I have no idea if those are going to go up for 2025. But for 2024, our summer program was $450, and then our fall program, which is fixing to happen, is $300. We do have scholarships available. Those scholarships are on a limited basis, as well as, again, first come, first serve. So if scholarships are needed, we have to discuss that. And there's like an application process that you would fill out to get more information. Um, let's see, I'm looking through my notes here to make sure I don't miss anything. One thing I was asked, like, what's something that people forget to bring? And I don't know if Scott, you've run into these issues as well, but I would say pack extra clothes. You always get hot, or you have slips or falls, or maybe the lunch was just delicious and you're wearing more of it than you ate. So please pack extra clothes, as well as we would need sheets and pillows. A lot of our campers arrive and they don't have sheets and pillows. And so those are wonderful to have. And then lastly, I'll mention, our camps started long, long time ago, 74, only because we saw a need for our caregivers to have respite. And so you may not know us, as special camps, us personally, and it's very scary, especially for a 13-year-old to walk in and say, "Here's my loved one, please take them." Please know that, we truly are passionate about this, or we wouldn't be doing it. Again, we're all volunteers. So just to give you an idea, this is my 33rd summer coming up to be working with special camps. So we do it because we love it. And, we want you to get the respite you need. We know you need respite, as well as your camper needs time away from you. So please use it as needed. That's the whole point of it. So.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's see if we have any questions in the chat. Oh, they're being a quiet group today. And yeah, I did, just so everybody knows, I did ask all the organizations that question specifically because I know it's just some things we don't think about when we're preparing to go to camps and things. And I think that's always a good one, is the idea of like always bring extra clothes. Like you think you need 4 days worth, bring twice as much, because if it's a good camp, you're going to get dirty, right? Like that's what I want. Oh, and and Scott put in the chat, fitted sheet for the twin bed. Yes. Okay. Well, hopefully we were having a little bit of a technical issue with our third presenter, Melissa King from the recreational TBI camp. So hopefully, or no, I'm sorry, with the Alabama District Pilot Club TBI camp. So she will be joining us hopefully shortly. But until then, I am going to give a brief overview of another, there we go, organization that I did have a chance to speak with, and they were really excited to join us, but unfortunately, just schedules happen, and that's okay. So this is Hope Heals, and I think yes, okay, it's still sharing with everybody. I just want to make sure I have my notes here for my own reference here. So this is Hope Heals. Now they do base their programs out of Camp McDowell in Alabama, and I always pronounce right now, Nauru, Alabama. So if you've ever been to Camp McDowell, it's a beautiful place. And this camp is really, my understanding from my conversation with Tutta, is designed for individuals with disabilities and their families. So it's not just an opportunity of, which is important, of course, for you to send your kid to sleepaway camp on their own, but really an opportunity for families to come together and have some camp experiences together. So my understanding is the way the day works is there is those times where parents will be separated from the kids, so that way parents get to have that time to either rest, relax, also just have that opportunity to interact with other adults and just kind of have their own fun too. But then those opportunities for the family to come back together, kind of at the end of the day or in the afternoon to, again, enjoying the rest of those camp activities. One of the things that when I was talking with Tutta about it, and she said one of the things that she really likes about having this type of format for the camps is, especially if this is parents that are not sure they're ready to let their kid go away to sleepaway camp. This is kind of that nice little bridge for them. So, that way, if they're like, I'm not sure, I'm not ready yet, or maybe they're not sure their kid is ready to do sleepaway camp. But this is kind of that nice bridge to be like, okay, we're going to be okay. You can hang out with people you've just met, a day ago. You're going to hang out with them all day. You're going to have a great time, but I'll still be here at the end of the day. Another other thing that I wanted to mention, and I don't think I was clear, is the camp itself is not specifically for children that have disabilities. It's for any family member that has disabilities. So it could be the adults have disabilities, but maybe the children don't, or vice versa. So it really is this nice little inclusive opportunity for families to just have that camp experience, have that time to be outdoors, have fun opportunities to network and have that community with other people. They do have 4 camp weeks that are set up. They are not necessarily based on ages or anything like that. Like we said, it's designed for the whole family to come, so there's not divided by age groups or anything. And applications will open in January. And it is free for the campers to come. So again, it's one of those where they're working off, donations and volunteers and all those wonderful things. So they do try to make it as available for people as possible. So please, if you have an opportunity, check out more information on Hope Heals. And I'm going to see, and Melissa King, have you been able to join us? I'm crossing my fingers. I don't think she's able to join us. So I will pop over to her website because I do want to make sure. Again, I'm going to try and do my best, but I know I'm not going to be nearly as good. So Melissa, if you pop on, you hear me talking something and it's not right, feel free to, to jump in. So this is the Alabama Pilot Club. And my understanding is this is an organization for people with traumatic brain injuries or people that are interested in, brain health and brain safety, and looking at those opportunities to support each other and others. And part of their programming is that they have a camp for their pilot members. Let me get to, there it is. So they do a Alabama District TBI camp for their pilot members. Let me make sure I'm again reading off the correct information here. And this is also held at Camp ASCA. It is free for participants, and the idea is that campers will come with their caregiver for the weekend, and it's typically held in April, and I believe the April 25th dates, or excuse me, April 2025 dates are going to be April 11th through the 13th. So it is just a short little weekend, but it's this really wonderful opportunity for campers and their caregivers to have this wonderful camp experience for them to do things, boat riding, fishing, bingo, all the things you want to do when you are at a lovely camp getaway. So definitely please check out the Alabama District Pilot Club TBI camp as well. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. We're going to see if I have any questions in the chat before I go over to my slides. And to our 2 organizations here, anything you forgot to mention? I know sometimes when somebody else starts talking, you're like, oh, I should have said that. So while I load up my slides, I'll give y'all a second to see if there's any last minute things you want to share out. No? All right, you said it all. Great. Love when that happens. Okay, so now is the time for everybody to ask their questions, either about camps in general. Maybe you have a wonderful camp experience you want to share yourself. Maybe you have a question about like how they accommodate for different types of disabilities and things like that. So please feel free to put it in the chat. I did want to mention we do have links to some additional camps and organizations in the area. There is Camp Smile. They are based out of Mobile. I did not get a chance to speak with them directly, but from the information I gathered, it's individuals aged 5 through 50, and their camps typically happen in June to July. Camp ASCA, of course, they have a wonderful program throughout the whole summer where they have different weeks for different age ranges and different organizations. That is about $1,200 for 1 week, but there is scholarships available for that as well. And their applications are opening up soon. It said on the website, I believe, October 1st. So don't want to miss out on that. Happy Camp. This one was a new one to me. I hadn't heard of this one before. This is from Merrimack Hall. And they really, what I was looking at on their website was a visual and performing arts camp designed for children 3 and up with different types of disabilities. So that if you're like me with that, theater or musical spirit in you, that might be one to look at. Of course, there is Joni and Friends family camps. Now, I did get a chance to briefly speak with somebody there, but unfortunately, they weren't able to join us today. But I believe they do respite weekends in the state of Alabama. So if you go to their website, you can get more information about those different events that they have. Oh, let me see if our Melissa popped up. Sorry, I just saw my notifications change. So I want to make sure I didn't miss her. Um, and then lastly is the Adventure Skills Workshop. This is from the Shepherd Center. And they were really sad they couldn't join today. They were adamant. They were like, please tell us when the next one is. We want to come talk to you. They just schedules didn't happen. This one was really interesting looking. This is designed for individuals with different types of physical disabilities, such as spinal cord injuries, brain injuries, multiple sclerosis. There we go. Excuse me. Spina bifida. A variety of different uh, disabilities and conditions, ALS, etc. They are based out of Camp Asca for their weeks that they're there. I believe they are in May. And really what they focus on are opportunities for individuals to participate in, all the sports and recreation and adventure. I mean, it's kind of in the name that you could even imagine, right? Like I want to know what water skiing is like. I want to go zip lining, riflery, fishing, etc. Just an opportunity for them to really try those out. Heather is letting us know about another one. Heather, do you want to jump on the mic and let us know about Full Life Ahead? Sorry to put you on the spot there.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't really know much about it. I know a little bit though. I know that they have stuff for the people that attend the camp, like the persons with disabilities and also the family members that are involved in whatever supportive care that the person might need. But they have like the separate events for like the siblings of the person with disabilities. They also have stuff for like the family members trying to figure out next steps with their person with disabilities. So I do know that it's a pretty robust weekend with lots of activities both for the family members and for the campers. So I guess if anybody's interested, they can just go to the Full Life Ahead website and find out more information.
All right.
The only reason why I know about this is because my godson, and his family participate. He is an individual with autism, and his family and he go every year, and he actually is a speaker now at the camp. So that's the only reason why I know anything about it.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And I will note, I was trying to do a little bit of research on them. I think their website might be undergoing some maintenance. I will put the website in my resource document that you guys will get a link to later. But just know you may need to hit refresh on it a couple times. I believe our friends from Alabama Council on Developmental Disabilities might have some additional contacts. So if you're trying to get in touch with somebody, they may have some additional information on that. Oh, Tammy, go for it.
Hi, there is a Facebook page for the Full Life of HUD Foundation, and 3 days ago that said that volunteer registration for camp is open. The application link will be in the comments, and the registration is open until the 27th.
Okay, so I will make sure to look through the Facebook link on that one then. So thank you very much on that, Tammy. Okay, thank you. This is great information. Keep it coming. Otherwise, you're just going to hear me ramble for the next 10 minutes. Um, while we wait for any other questions or comments, I just want to talk briefly about some of the equipment that we at our landing program actually have that are available that might be related to some of these camp activities that we were talking about. And that's not to say that this is all we have. We always have more coming in, or, if there's something that, once we hear about a need, we try to see if we can fill it as fast as possible too. But just an example of some of the recreational equipment that we have that is adapted for people with disabilities. We actually have two different types of kayak supports. So, and it's been a very long time since I went kayaking, so I can tell you very little about how it works in general anyway, other than this particular support that we have really keeps the person able to hold onto that kayak oar. And what it's doing is it's really attaching the oar by their wrist. So that way they're not having to worry about their hand strength to hold onto that oar. So it's really kind of using that additional support to their wrist. That's how they're attaching their hand to the oar. And you can have it for your right or your left, or you can use it for both, as you see in this particular picture. And then we have a different kayak support where I think instead of attaching to your wrist, it's more of like our handy active hands grip, where it's more of where it's attaching over the hand itself. In the middle here, we have this tie-all. So it's a hands-free knot tying device. So if you're an avid fisherman, but you hate trying to deal with those pesky fishing lines, this is a device that will help tie those lines for you. This picture, it's a little fuzzy, but and we do have a variety of different ones for this as well. This was just one that I selected. We have different fishing poles that are mounted in different ways depending on the user. So this specific one is for somebody who is seated and has limited mobility. So maybe they can't hold on to the fishing pole itself. So it has like a little thing that's seated on their lap, and then there's a place to hold the fishing pole itself. And then it has a strap to help secure everything in place. So then that way somebody, again, you keep your strength where you need it instead of trying to, keep a firm grip tight on the pole, tight grip on the pole. The mount is able to do that for you. And we have some additional ones for like if you need standing. Also, we have one again where it's attaching more to your arm than expecting your hand to hold on to that grip. And we have similar devices, like I mentioned, the active hands, where if you're somebody who can't hold on to the object, it will essentially kind of keep that object in place for you. So that way you're able to, tennis rackets, whatever it might be. And down at the bottom, this was something fun that we had purchased. It's a set of binoculars. So if you're somebody who likes to go birding or just looking out at nature, but these are specifically where they help stabilize the image. So if you're somebody who can't hold, like for me, I can't hold a camera still to save my life. So it gets a little fuzzy and it's hard to look through binoculars. And these will stabilize that image for you. Some other daily living and other adaptations, but that could apply to camp situations. Of course, we have these lock line flexible mounts. So the nice thing with these is you can kind of attach them wherever you need to a table, to a wheelchair, and then you can attach whatever you need to the other end of it. So in this top left corner, you see we've got a camera attached to one end of an mount, and then another one, we just have a simple activity switch. So, hit the button and it's turning something on. Maybe it's or even taking the picture for that camera that's mounted as well. In the middle is another type of mount. This is just a universal mount. It's a little more sturdy instead of having that bendable lock line. It's just two metal poles, but there are 3 joints, so you can position it wherever you need to. And then again, you can attach what you need to. Is it a tablet? Is it a device? Is it, a tool that you're using during arts and crafts? I really like this one. That's definitely something that's grown on me over the couple weeks and months that I've had it in our office. This is a lap tray. So for me, I always like a good lap tray because I don't like to sit and just regular sit at my desk, sit on the floor, sit cross-legged somewhere, but then all my stuff's, falling off my lap. So this is a lap tray, but it has a strap. So that means I can carry it with me. And since it also has the strap, if you notice, there's a little zipper at the bottom. There's a pouch. So you can store things. So, put your tablet, put any items that you want in there. So if there's things that you want to manipulate on that lap tray, instead of having a whole separate bag, you can just store it in that lap tray bag, and it goes all in one go. So kind of a nifty little tool there. Down at the bottom left, we have this grip tray. So most of us have seen like Dyson and things like that that have that non-slip surface. But what's nice about this is it's in the form of a sturdier like tray or board. So it's sturdier, and then you can again place it on your lap, place it where you need to, but then again has that non-slip surface. And then down at the bottom here is just some adjustable, or excuse me, universal grips. So you can see there's a variety of different things that they're putting through these grips. So pencils, toothbrush, we have the kind of the daily living things here, but I'm thinking even depending on my camp activities, what other things might I need some assistance holding on to while I'm out having these wonderful camp adventures. So those are just a couple of things. Some other things that I was thinking about that I had interacted with in my camping adventures that we don't necessarily have in the library, and I say yet because you never know when they're going to show up in there. Things like, yes, you can put a Hoyer lift inside a tent. I have seen it done. It can be done. Anybody can go tent camping. You just got to try and be ready for patience and be really excited about doing that. So tent camping is really possible for just about everyone. Hoyer lifts will fit. Also, the beauty of air mattresses. So for some people that like the experience of tent camping, but really just can't deal with those surfaces or to get up from that low of a position, air mattresses are great nowadays where, it gives you enough lift off the ground that can help that person, sleep better, but then also not have to worry about getting directly up off the very, bottom part of the ground. So just a couple of things to think about while you're camping. I'm always a big fan of tent camping, and having those opportunities. And, these little grip things, great for s'more sticks, right? Because everybody needs a s'more. All right. I don't think we have any questions. We do have this camp information sheet. I will be adding the information regarding the full life ahead. I've been trying to update any information from our presenters, so I will add those in there. And please feel free to take that. I just wanted a quick hit. If you're like, I remember they talked about these, but I don't remember which one did what. So that'll be a good resource for you there. Also, we have our Survey Monkey. This is an opportunity for you to provide us some feedback regarding our webinar. Let us know how we did. I know not only for us, but for our friends for ACDD. This is really useful information for us, so we do greatly appreciate it. If you can provide us with that feedback, I'm going to go ahead and copy the, let me do that real fast. Copy the link in the chat. And also, yes, thank you. There we go. Also, please, if there are topics that you want us to talk about, that is a great way for you to give us that feedback as well. And lastly, as you're filling out those surveys, I just want to let you know what we are up to the next couple of weeks. I'm actually not in our office. You're probably like, hey, there's not like stacks and stacks of stuff around me. That's because they're all over here. Let me see if I can turn my camera and not get everybody seasick. I am setting up at the Scottsboro Public Library today. This is part of our road show, so I am on the road officially. We are at the Scottsboro Public Library from 12 to 6 p.m. today. For those that are unfamiliar, this is our opportunity to go out into the more rural communities. I am bringing, as you can see, a variety of our lending library equipment. So if you are in the Scottsboro area, please come on by, take a visit, put your hands on some equipment. If there's things that you want to take home and try out as part of our 30-day lending program, this is the perfect time to do it because you don't have to worry about how to get to Birmingham or figure out shipping or anything like that. So please, if you're in the area, we'll be here from 12 to 6 at the Scottsboro Public Library. AT Alabama, you've heard us talk about it so much, but we're going to talk about it again. That is happening next week. We are super thrilled. This is our statewide AT conference. We are hosting in Birmingham next week on October 1st and 2nd. We do have our pre-conference that is September 30th, but I believe we might have sold that out already. That was one of our other AT Maker events where we were going to have people learn how to do adapted switches and learn about 3D printing and some other simple adaptations they can make to different devices. But the 2-day conference, there is a fee for it. However, we are going to do a vendor hall expo. If you went to last year's, that will be from, 1 to 6 p.m. on October 2nd. That is free to the public. We have over 45 vendors that will have tech on tables, talk to you about their AT services or how they support assistive technology. We will also have affinity groups where people can just talk together and different. So I'll be doing one on AT and education. We have some others talking about AT and independent living. So just those opportunities for people to gather, get community, network. So please check out that link. And then lastly is our monthly webinar will continue October 22nd. I did not get the link ready in time, but we will be talking to Raz Mobility. So we're changing it up a little bit this time around. We're going to start talking directly to vendors about their specific products to kind of deep dive into those a little bit more. So Raz was one that reached out to us and we're like, this is a great product. We'd love to talk with you about it with our audience a little bit more. So they're going to do a full overview of what they provide. So that'll be October 22nd. And then lastly, of course, always get in touch with us, aptat@rehab.alabama.gov. And then I will put in the chat before we leave. The best way to follow us and find out what's going on is to join our newsletter. As you can see, we keep getting more and more events. We're out and about everywhere. We want you to be able to join us and participate. So I will put that link in the chat. And thank you again to Scott and Darlene. And Melissa, I'm so sorry we weren't able to have you participate directly. But thank you to everybody else for participating. And if you have any questions, please let us know and we'll hang out for a few more minutes.